Show me the way to go home.
I'm tired and I want to go to bed.
I had
a little drink
about
about an hour ago, and it's got right to my
head. Everywhere I roam, over land
or sea or foam,
you can always hear me singing this song. Show me the way to go home.
Home, home, home.
Show me the way to go home. Welcome to the Two Geeks and a Microphone podcast, your one-stop shop for television, movie, video games, comic books, book reviews, and more. Now, without further ado, here's Steven and Mike.
Who talks first? You talk first? I talk first. I always say that at the beginning if he's not ready. Good morning.
So who talks first? You talk first. I talk first.
I will talk first today. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the show, Two Geeks and a Microphone. I am your co-host, Mr. Steven Boster, along with the one, the only, Mr. Michael Shanks. Mike, say hey to everybody.
Good morning to all you shark geeks out there.
And we are also joined by a show favorite, Mr. Tom Hutchison. Tom, thanks so much for being here. How are you today?
Thanks, guys. This will be a good time. I remember when you guys invited me on for this. I immediately went to Facebook and I posted. I was like, "It's happening! It's happening! This is what I've been training for my entire life. It's happening."
Well, it's an honor that we're having you on for this thing.
Yes, we love having you on the show, Tom. So we're super excited, and much more so because everybody, Tom is a huge Jaws fan, and he's going to learn us something today. I'm just saying. We're going to have a great time today.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I think so.
Oh my goodness. So we're going to have an action-packed show, everybody, today, because we're talking about Jaws, and specifically it's the 50th anniversary of the film Jaws. And so we thought it would be a good idea to do that. And Tom was so wonderful to join us for this. And it was so funny because he posted on Facebook, I remember seeing, he just had a picture of all his Jaws stuff, which everybody, you can see if you're watching the show, you can see it on everything on the, but he had posted on there, and I'm like, he goes, and this is just the stuff that was laying around near me.
Right. And I used that for the thumbnail for this episode too.
literally laying around next to me. I have this box that just came, right? And it has the Jaws 2 card set in it. Cool. It's literally just all around me.
That's awesome. So we knew he was the one. He's the one. He is the chosen one for this episode. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, you know what else is appropriate? The fact that we're doing this episode today. Tomorrow kicks off 2025 Shark Week. So
nice.
I'm a big fan of Shark Week. I watch Shark Week every year. So
is that on Discovery?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, it's been on Discovery for the last, 30 years or something like that.
And Discovery, I don't know if it's Discovery or whatever parent company or whatever, but Discovery creates a thing called SharkCon in Florida every year. They've been doing that now for like 12 years, something like that.
Oh my goodness.
And it's just all things sharks, but it's a lot of it is like Discovery Channel, it's like conservation stuff and so on, but they also do just celebrate pop culture. So they have had like the Jaws actors and stuff down there, and they had a bunch of them this year again, of course. And
cool.
So yeah, SharkCon is a legitimate real thing.
That's cool.
I got a question, Tom. Have you ever been to like SeaWorld and done the sharks, the swim with sharks thing?
I did the swim with sharks at Marineland in California. Oh my God. That would have been like early 80s at some point. Marineland doesn't exist anymore, but Yeah, they did a little scuba, like not scuba, but snorkel with the sharks, and yeah, they were just like little uh, lemon sharks and nurse sharks and stuff that
Gotcha.
basically just hung around down at the bottom, you know.
Yeah.
So there's nothing was going to happen, but it was still when you're told as a kid that you're going to swim with the sharks, you're still like, what? Nothing good about that. What are you talking about?
It sounds good. Yeah. When we were in San Diego a couple of weeks ago, we were at La Jolla doing we were staying in San Diego, but we went up to La Jolla to do a kayak trip. And so we were, it's like 2 hour kayaking thing, but we were there. And then one of the things that happened was we looked down and we saw something moving, and sure enough, it was a reef shark underneath us.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, I could have stuck my hand in the water and touched it, kind of a thing, but it was moving fast, very fast. I was shocked how fast it moved.
Wow.
But swimming with the sharks, that'd be cool.
The closest I've come, St. Louis Zoo has a stingray exhibit, and in the stingray they do have some of the little sharks too.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've touched those little sharks, but that's the closest I've ever got to anything like that.
That's cool though.
Yeah, it is cool. It's really cool actually. And I think you can do that. SeaWorld has almost the same exhibit. But SeaWorld has a thing to where you actually go into the water. I think you're in a cage, and it's bigger sharks, and the sharks are swimming.
Yeah, that's been a thing that's been happening. They have one of those in I think it's in Australia, where you go in with crocodiles in a cage, but the cage is not a cage. Here's the thing. Yeah. It's not a cage, right? It's a big acrylic cylinder that you're in. So it's not like you have bars like this. It's like that way you can see in any direction. There's nothing really blocking your view, but also there's nothing blocking your view from the crocodiles to see you either.
Right.
It's a really, I've seen some amazing pictures that I'm just like, oh my God, this is like Lake Placid happening right now. This is crazy.
That almost sounds a little too close to Jaws 3D.
Yeah. It's wild. So to have that as part of a shark exhibit doesn't surprise me at all. Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
All right. We're already talking sharks. Everybody, let's go ahead. You wanted to go ahead and do you didn't have any geeky news for this week, right?
I don't have geeky news, but I do have a geekdar. So
okay, let's do this.
Go with the radar, sir.
What's wrong with it?
I've lost the bleeps, I've lost the sweeps, and I've lost the creeps.
The what? The what? And the what?
You know, the bleeps, the sweeps, and the creeps.
It's not all he's lost.
Spaceballs is coming back too. Oh, did Tom disappear? Oh, there he is. Okay, good.
Oops, I hit the wrong one. Sorry, Tom.
Did you hang up on Tom?
I hung up on Tom.
Way to go, dude.
This is Jaws moment. The podcast is not working. The podcast is not working.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Maybe we should rename the podcast Bruce. So I have a really special geekdar actually. Okay. So last Sunday, we were out grocery shopping, and I got a notification from my Ring doorbell saying that we got a package.
On a Sunday?
On a Sunday. Yeah, it was Sunday, wasn't it, Megan? Oh, maybe it was Saturday. Maybe it was Saturday. It was Saturday. I'm sorry. It was Saturday. All right. Anyway, we got a notification that we got a package, and I was like, Megan, are you expecting anything? Because Megan's always expecting something. And, she's like, no, not today. And I says, okay, well, we just got a package at the house. So we get home. She got to the door first, and she goes, Dad, it's for you. I was like, oh, okay. I'm not expecting anything. I don't know what this is. And I look at the package, and the sender was addressed. It was a friend of mine who I worked with. She retired about 7 years ago. It's been a while since she retired. And I mean, we're friends on Facebook and all, but we don't like talk a lot, you know? So I was like, well, what would she be sending me? And she's kind of an artistic person. So I thought maybe she made something artsy and she thought, I'd like it, send it to me. So anyway, I opened it up, and I had a really nice, sweet letter from her, and I'm going to read the letter. It says, "Hiya, Mike. From what I understand, this is the piece used to create the original lightsaber. I inherited it from a friend who used it in World War II as a photographer. So this was actually used in World War II. You are the only person that I know who would appreciate it. Enjoy." And she sent me this item.
Oh yeah.
You guys recognize that. So now, when I first looked at it, I thought, oh yeah, that's exactly what they use. And then I thought, wait a minute, it doesn't have the little curvy top. Well, as I started researching, the curvy top one is a Graflex. Maybe I should explain exactly what this is. This is a flash handle. So a flash bulb would go on top of this, and then the whole thing connects to a camera. And this has the batteries in it that control the flash bulb. And Lucasfilms bought up a bunch of these, and they used these to create the original lightsaber hilts, is what they did. So the Graflex brand was used to create Luke Skywalker's. This is a Highland, and from what I understand, the Highland was what was used to build Darth Vader's lightsaber. So I got her permission, and I am going to try and transform this into a Darth Vader lightsaber hilt. So,
Oh, cool.
yeah.
Right on.
I wanted to make sure and get her permission because, I mean, this does have historical, significance being the fact that it was used in World War II and everything. And I really appreciate that. I think that's so cool. But, so if she didn't want me to modify it, I wasn't going to, and she's like, no, go ahead. Have fun. Enjoy the process.
Aww.
So I have her blessing, and I've been talking to some friends at work who have 3D printers, and we're already discussing the parts that I need and so on and so forth. So,
okay. All right. That's cool.
Hopefully in the next several months, I'll have a Vader hilt to show you guys.
Nice. I'm fascinated by 3D printers. They're really cool. I've heard it's kind of expensive on the opposite, like not only for the 3D printer, but also for all the quote unquote ink. I don't know what you call it. I don't know what it's called.
Well, it's a plastic.
It's a filament or something, right? So, yeah.
Well, my one friend Jonathan, he's gotten his to the point when he prints, it no longer has the lines in it, because they've really come a long way over the last 10 years, honestly. Because I've got a little tiny K9 from Doctor Who. I think Jonathan printed that for me, and it's just got lines all through it. Still really cool, but then he showed me he's printing off some parts. Let's see, what was it for? Was it not the Death Star? I don't remember. One of the Star Wars vehicles, though. And he's printing off some pieces for that he found plans for. And there's absolutely no lines in it. It's perfect. I'm like, this is going to make beautiful parts for my lightsaber, dude. But yeah, that's my Geek Dar. I've been chomping at the bit to show that off too.
Yeah. Tom, got anything that's been on your Geek Dar lately?
Not really. I mean, I'm just kind of waiting on Fantastic Four next week. Well, Jaws is eternally. I mean, that's like that's literally at this point almost like once a month. I just put it on. Like it's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, partially because in the last few years, partially because I'm writing my own shark comic, and so I watch a lot of shark stuff to put me in that frame of mind. Like whether it's the Jaws series or whether it's Deep Blue Sea or the Shallows or whatever, 47 meters down. Like you can just watch that stuff and kind of put your writer brain, underwater and kind of tune yourself into where you need to be to write this book. So that's part of it. But Jaws has been, I remember the first time I saw Jaws, was because I was 4 when it came out. So, I wasn't going to see it in the theater. But when the VHS boom started, that's where I saw it for the first time, as we rented it on VHS. And that was it. I was immediately like, oh my God, this is the craziest thing I've ever seen. And this would be well after, because I was a big Star Wars guy. So this would have been well after seeing all the Star Wars stuff in the theaters, because VHS started in the 70s, but it really got going in the 80s.
In the 80s.
Yeah. So I just thought it was incredible, because it was all, real, right? Like Star Wars, you understand, like, this is fake ships and we're in outer space, whatever. But like, because Spielberg filmed everything on location, including out on the boat, on the ocean, like everything just had that sense of, true reality to it. And it just changes the visual cue of the entire thing when you go on location.
Awesome. Let's see, Tom, when's your next Kickstarter?
About a month.
Okay.
In fact, a month from today, roughly, we'll be launching the Legend of Oz, The Wicked West. It's our Western Wizard of Oz book. We're going to be doing the omnibus for that.
Yes.
So it'll be the first 4 volumes all put together in one gigantic, like nearly 500-page book. And we're looking to launch that right now. August 16th is the planned date. But we're also looking at potentially having a launch party somewhere that we won't talk about right now. And if that should go down, our dates might change a little based on what their availability is. Yeah,
sure.
But we're aiming for around the 16th of next month.
Right on. I'm excited. I know that's what got Mike interested, was the Wizard of Oz. Yeah. Yep. So yeah, I'm excited. So we want to make sure we have that. All right. Well, I guess we're ready for the main event. We ready to do this? Main event. It's time for the main event. Man, that thing's going kind of weird. Oh, because I had to refresh. Oh, sorry, never mind. Everybody, we were having technical difficulties before, and anyway, we're all good. Let's talk Jaws, baby.
Technical difficulties are what Jaws is all about. It's why Jaws is what it is. So
right,
it's very fitting for the show.
This is true. Steven Spielberg had nothing but problems filming this movie. When Megan was little, I remember she wanted to see Jaws, and Brendan and I like, there is no way in this world we're allowing you to see Jaws, because she was deathly afraid of the water. I mean, we go swimming, and we would have to go swimming in shifts. I would have to stay out and hold her while Brenda went into the water. And then Brenda would come out, and I get to go in, and she'd stay out. I was like, if you think we're letting you watch Jaws and you're that afraid of the water, there's no freaking way. I don't remember when we first let her watch Jaws. I
don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember when it was. I think probably after I let you watch Lost Boys. Because Lost Boys was the first.
You were concerned about Jaws and versus Lost Boys?
Yeah, because I didn't have any fear that she'd be worried about vampires. She was already afraid of water enough. So, yeah. I didn't need a fear of a giant shark coming and eating her on top of her. Look, she would scream bloody murder if we tried to walk her in. I was holding her. We went to the Ozarks, and I was holding her and carrying her out in the water, and she was screaming like someone was murdering her. So.
Well, see, I never had a fear of the water. We were always around the water when I was a kid. My dad had a boat. We were always at the beach. When I saw Jaws, that's when the door closed for me. It literally was like, that's not happening anymore. We're not doing that.
That's why we wouldn't show it to her.
It's very real. No water skiing, no tube. Like that's you're just trolling. That's just a piece of meat on the end of a line. You're just trolling for sharks as you're skiing. That was my brain, and it has really never stopped um, at all. And in fact, it's gotten worse because now, because of social media and everybody's got a camera in their pocket. I have seen more real shark attacks than I have ever seen in my life. And if you ever watch a real shark attack, Lucas Spielberg really had it right in a lot of ways. And a lot of these movies kind of, you think of it as like, oh, this is just like Hollywood, like, oh, the blood is like, yeah, that's Hollywood. But no, that stuff's real. And in fact, one of the lines from Jaws where Brody's asking about, hey, is it true that, shark attacks mostly happen 10 feet of water? 3 feet of water, 10 feet from the beach.
Yep.
And Hooper goes, yeah. And then there's videos now where sharks are like literally swimming to the shoreline, just like, I'm just like, oh my.
Well, I see that on Shark Week, man.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's crazy. It's crazy. And still shark attacks are very, very rare. Fatalities from shark attacks are very, very rare. But it's just one of those things that it can happen. And that's the terror of Jaws and why it works so well. Thankfully, the shark didn't work, because that makes it even more scary, because you realize that you'll never see it coming. If it were to ever happen, you'll never see it happen. And that was the right from the get go of the first scene. I mean, she's just swimming around and then she's gone. It's crazy.
Although we should all be able to know when a shark attack happens, because you hear dun dun.
Yeah, you hear the music. You got to be,
Yeah, I want to talk about the music later on in the show, because I know I paid attention to who did. I was like, yep, John Williams.
Oh yeah,
and stuff. So yeah, it was like, here it comes. This is great. So yeah,
Megan, do you want to add anything to this? Because you watched it too, and I'm curious of your thoughts on the movie.
I'm going to get you in. Here we go.
And Megan's a horror fanatic. She loves horror movies. So
I don't know if I mean, I get it's a horror movie.
It's not really a horror movie.
Yeah.
It really isn't. It's like a thriller thing.
Well, I mean,
I wouldn't ever classify it as like horror.
I don't
Really?
know.
Not myself.
I think the horror in this is more realistic than any horror movie, honestly.
But it's not. I mean,
well, that's all right. But either way, it's.
I like John.
I was
You did
joking
like it.
last night that I thought it would be great if we had Michael Myers show up on Amity Island, and then we got the killer on the shore and then the killer in the water. That would be the ultimate movie.
Well, there's something for you that exists that you'll need to go see. It's called Amityville Shark Attack.
Oh,
It's a combination of the Amityville Horror and Jaws. So
wow,
you can go find that if you are brave enough to attempt it. But that's a real thing.
nice.
I'm looking it up right now.
I am too.
Amityville.
Amityville. Of course, it'd help if I could spell.
Is it Amityville Shark House?
Well, those maybe they do change the names of those things a lot, depending on who's releasing them. But yeah, it's something along those lines. Yeah.
Amityville Shark House. Okay. That's funny. All
yeah,
right.
I did find that. Okay.
Oh, no, there's another one called Amityville Island.
Oh, maybe that's what I'm thinking about. Yes, Amityville Island. Yeah.
1.9 out of 10 stars.
Yeah.
That's right up our alley. Okay. Back to the movie. Steven Spielberg, the film, the movie. So I have a real quick question just to get things going. I may have missed something, or maybe I'm just projecting something into the film, but I thought it was really cool when the guys were singing the song. Everybody, that's kind of why we did the song at the beginning. And then, but then they started, or they were comparing, ocean attacks, whatever, is, comparing scars. And we had heard that with
when he points to his heart.
Oh yeah, broke my heart.
Richard Dreyfuss points to his heart.
Right. But then for Scheider's character, what was his name? Oh, my brain just dropped.
Brody.
Brody, yeah. So Brody, when they were doing it, Brody kind of started to lift up his shirt or something, but then didn't. And we also noticed character that he hadn't been back in the water in a long time, or never went back in the water. Did I miss something in there that there was something about his past that was a shark?
No. He it was just built into his character that he, like they talk about it, something. He's like drowning. Like I don't like the water. That's just
right.
That's his phobia, right? But
his wife said he even sits in the car when they go
drive on the ferry
on the ferry, and she goes, "There's a word for it." He goes, "Yeah, it's called drowning."
Yeah,
right.
But the scar, the way that I interpreted it, and this is not in any script or anything, the way that I interpreted it is that he had a scar there, but I think it's like an appendix scar, like he had something removed. And so he was going to be like, well, I've got to, and then he realized these guys are like, yeah, this shark bit my arm. And, he's like, nope, never mind.
Okay.
My story is not going to, work.
Not going to trump anything here.
That's the way I've always interpreted it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Good. I was afraid I had missed something about, and cause he didn't talk about his scar, but you thought he was about to. And I thought, oh, is that something to do with his past? So, okay. Cool.
Actually, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. I could see him being like, oh, okay, I'm going to get into this. Oh, wait. Yeah. What I have does not compare to what you guys are talking about.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. And that fear of the water and all of that, that's for the movie. That's not in the book. In the book, he's an islander in the book. They're from Amphi, the whole thing.
Oh.
So,
yeah.
So there's a lot of modifications from the book to the movie. And, I think ultimately, and I think a lot of people, if you read reviews of the book and so on now, people like what Spielberg did with the characters a lot. They're more interesting. They're more relatable. Most of the characters in the book are kind of jackasses, and Hooper has a affair with Chief's wife and stuff. Like, it's a crazy different book. Yeah, it's a crazy different book.
Weird.
So yeah, so the movie really kind of, to me and to a lot of people, kind of took the groundwork of the book and polished it into something that was really like, okay, this is really what the book should have been, could have been, whatever.
We've only got 2 hours to tell this story. We need to polish it and then do what a movie needs to do for because a book and a movie are different.
Yes.
And just in general, and I know a lot of people say the book is better than the movie.
It sounds like that wasn't the case here.
It sounds like it was not the case.
I mean, you got to remember, the book came out in 1973, right? So think about when it was released. Again, context is everything. The book comes out in 73. Here's a book about a shark that's eating people, and it's pretty descriptive in its this is how the shark eats the girl and whatever. It's pretty descriptive. It gets into it. But because it's a book, there's only so much you can be describing the water, it's like, okay, we get it. It's the ocean. You don't have to tell me again that it's the ocean. So a little more difficult. So you got to kind of fill the book out with stuff. And so that's where he took his characters into, the relationships that they had. The mayor has mob ties, which is why he doesn't want the beaches closed, because they all own all these properties, and if they lose money, the mob will be pissed off, and
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So all of that stuff, kind of filled the book out as he would then drop in another, like, shark attack. Like, okay, here's a shark attack, and then the people's lives, and then a shark attack in the people's lives. And the movie is like that too, except the movie is just a tighter, more through line story versus now it's an affair. Now it's the mob. Now it's, whatever. So, it's just a tighter story. I think that it benefits from that.
I like Spielberg's idea better with it's just, owners who are worried about their businesses, not, I mean, cause that's real life stuff there. Yeah. Not everybody's owned by the mob. So that's crazy. That's just crazy.
Yeah. But in the 70s, the mob and the mafia and all that kind of stuff, that's far more heightened.
Right.
You know, the further back you go, the more history changes.
Sure,
So
sure.
yeah. So it was a real thing. But again, there's only so much time you can put into that kind of stuff. And then the movie kind of diverts from its purpose. If you're focused on these other things, you know, it didn't matter that they had an affair. Like that doesn't push the story forward.
That
Right.
makes
No,
sense.
not a bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Was there anything in the book that you liked better than what was in the movie, or you're like, nah, the movie's
Good question.
You know, because because it's reverse engineered for me. I know the movie so well. I was reading the book to, you know, to find the differences. Like, okay, how did they do this? How did they do that? Like Chrissy at the beginning, they weren't like party goers. They were just like they were at a beach house or whatever. So there was a lot of similarities, like really general similarities. And I was like, okay, you know, they would kind of loop me in like, okay, I know where we're at. But I don't think there's anything in the book that could be conceived as better. But again, that could just be the reverse engineering of my head. Like I know how perfect this is.
Yeah.
This is an imperfect storytelling. It's, you know, it's almost like the book is the adaptation of the movie, and it's not that. Incidentally, they did novelizations of Jaws 2 and Jaws the Revenge. Both of those are not the movie either. And those were kind of reverse engineered. So the Jaws 2 book and Jaws the Revenge were both written off of early scripts. And Jaws 2 famously started filming, and then the director got canned, and they had to kind of redo the whole thing. And they literally redid the whole thing. And so Jaws 2 is a very different movie than what we would have got with the original director. But the novel went off of a different script than the film, and the same thing with Jaws the Revenge. So, you know, like in Jaws 2, well, now this was part of there was a comic book adaptation of Jaws 2 as well. Which is the only Jaws comic that's ever been made, to my knowledge.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that either.
Yeah, but Jaws 2 has a completely different story, including at the end when they get to Cable Junction, they find out that the reason that there's still sharks around is that that's a breeding ground out at Cable Junction. And, you know, none of that's in the movie either. So it's really weird how you can engineer the same thing in different formats, but you get different results in that way.
Interesting.
That's fascinating.
I like the idea of
the
it
3D one.
3D, yeah, there was never a novelization of the 3D book. I'm very upset about that. I really like. I want to do it myself so that it can exist, and there can be all of them right there.
You can have them there.
Yeah, but you know, such is life.
You know, you could do that.
I'll just call up Universal. You know what you really need to do is a Jaws 3 is, you know, and you know what you could do. Oh, see, I'm pitching this right now. Because it was Jaws 3D back in the day, right? Not just Jaws 3, it was Jaws 3D.
Right.
You make it as a pop-up book so that you have the 3D
nice.
So it's a novelization, but you open it and certain scenes will have like, you know, there's the shark.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I love
Do
it.
they still make pop-up books? Man, I love pop-up books as a kid.
Oh, I'm
They
sure.
do.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's been some really interesting ones that have come out. I think if you go on Kickstarter, you could probably find some too. Yeah, I didn't have many collectibles of Jaws. The only collectible I remember, I had a model kit, and it was like you remember the models of like ships in a bottle.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this was Jaws in a bottle. So
nice.
and of course the bottle, you know, it's plastic and it's in two pieces. You put the shark together, and then you put the shark in the middle and you close it around it. That's how it all works and stuff. But that's the only collectible I ever remember of having of Jaws. I can't think of anything else that I would have had.
Yeah, there was a lot of merch back in the day, but not like we have today with like Star Wars stuff.
Oh yeah,
like I had this
I had that
Jaws game.
The Jaws game. I had that. Yes,
and I came across a picture of me when I was, God, I don't know, 8, 9, something like that, where I had a Jaws birthday party, and I have no memory of it. But there's a picture of me blowing out candles on a cake with Jaws on it.
Cool.
Why don't I remember any of this? But it was real. Yeah. So there was stuff out there, but a lot of it back in the day was like posters and like books and
Did you have the
t-shirts and stuff.
Viewmaster viewfinder?
I had a viewfinder, but I never had a Jaws one. No.
Okay.
No.
I remember having King Kong. I think I had Star Wars, and then I had a bunch of miscellaneous, probably like National Geographic stuff, stuff like that.
I still have the King Kong one because they made a
Nice.
talking Viewmaster. So you'd click on a thing and then it would talk to you too. So I
remember that, but I didn't have one.
Yeah, I have the King Kong talking Viewmaster thing. I still have that, so yeah. All kinds of crap in this place, man.
That's awesome.
So funny. Love it.
It's funny. Oh my goodness. So, all right, what was your favorite parts of the movie? Let's just go through that. Let's talk about because I mean, I guess did we do an overall? We didn't even do an overall rating. Well, everyone's already seen.
Well, yeah, I mean, this is a 50-year-old movie.
It's a 50-year-old movie. That is correct.
I love the movie. I'll give it 9
shark fins.
Yeah, okay, shark fins.
9 shark fins. Nice. I will also give it 9 shark fins. I actually enjoyed it. Everybody before the show, I told everybody, I was like, I sat down to watch it and I'm going, I don't remember this scene. I don't remember this scene. I don't remember this. It was like watching it for the first time kind of a thing.
Nice.
Then when we got near the end, I was like, okay, I remember this part. But I really enjoyed it. And going through and watching it, Spielberg was just even masterful, not only with, it was how he did his shots and the way he, there was even that scene with Roy Scheider with Brody where it's the moment that it's confirmed that there is a shark because there's a shark attack happening.
Oh, and the zoom on his face,
the zoom on the face and stuff, and it's the only time they did that, but it was perfect for that shot. Here's the moment of realization or confirmation, affirmation about the shark attack that he'd been battling this whole time with the mayor, and then the other things, aspects of how he did. You felt like you were the shark sometimes, and in the water, and and the music's playing, and you're just like, it was nail biting sometimes, and who's gonna get it, who's gonna get attacked, how's it gonna happen, because it's coming. Every time the music came up, you were like, shark attack. So that was just a great use of music. And well, I'll just talk about the music part here now too. I thought it was interesting at times that John Williams chose music in tense moments to be like a little more happier when I was watching it. And I was just like, is that out of place? And I thought, like, no, because it's giving me a breather in the tense thing that, okay, are the heroes going to make it? The music even continued. Oh, the heroes are doing great and they're not doing so great. Though it looks like they're going to get it and not so much.
Yeah. You mean when they're out on the boat and they're chasing them down? Yeah. It's very upbeat, music, and then like you said, then something goes wrong and it goes
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just the way he did the shots, the pacings, I did not do any Steven skips whatsoever in this.
Nice.
None. And well, maybe for the beginning I was like, no, I'm just kidding. But I thoroughly enjoyed it. So I give it 9 shark fins out of 10.
I give it, well, to me, the movie is and it is borderline perfect. I've found the flaws, but they're minuscule. So for me, judging a movie, it's kind of always based on rewatchability. And I don't think that there would ever be a time that if I were skipping channels and it were to appear that I wouldn't stop on it. Like, oh, Jaws is on. I'm watching Jaws. This has been decided for me. So for me, it's because it's not perfect and I found the flaw. It's 9.5 shark fins out of 10.
Nice.
Because
I do see the flaw and it bothers me every time. But it's really dumb. And
I want to know what the flaw is.
What's the flaw?
Yeah. But before we go there, I want to go back to the music. I want to go back to the music because the music has always been described as, when you hear the music, the shark is there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That was my joke earlier.
And this is one of the conundrums of the film. Because if you don't hear dun 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 dun, the shark is not there. So when you see the kids come in with the fake fin, there's never the song dun 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 dun. It's not happening.
Oh,
right? Okay,
that's
so
right.
I think that still fools. I mean, well, obviously it doesn't fool somebody that's seen the movie, but as a kid, I don't.
No, if you're still
Right.
Steven, I didn't notice that, right?
I didn't notice. Right. Yeah.
These are all things that you kind of notice on rewatches, and you
Right.
think about it.
Okay. Good point.
But
Okay.
then it goes one step further. Okay, when they're on the boat and something grabs Quint's line, right, and he's getting into his seat, and he's we got the thing, and Hooper's like, "Let it go. It's not a shark," right? And he's like, "Hey, I'll tell you what it is," and blah blah blah. So there's no dun 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 dun. So it can't be the shark because there's no music. This is the training method of the entire film.
Right.
And they never say either way in the film what it was.
What
They
it
never
was.
tell you because it cuts away and then later on, the shark comes. But Carl Gottlieb, who is one of the writers on this film, has said, no, it was the shark. He has said that was the shark. He got it on the line. It got away, blah, blah, blah. But if that's true, why was there no music? So flaw number one.
Okay.
Or just Carl is just making stuff up. Over the course of 50 years, the stories are all going to modify and change based on who's telling it and that sort of thing. So another one is the famous you're going to need a bigger boat line, right?
Yeah.
The question is always, well, who wrote that line? And the story for that is so convoluted and insane that it would take an entire show to put that together. The short answer is it was improv. The long answer is no, it wasn't, because it was sort of something. It was like a joke going around the set, like, oh, somebody should just say you need a bigger boat, and then Brody sort of improvised it, right? That's sort of the general understanding. On the Jaws at 50 documentary that just came out, Steven Spielberg has a scene where he literally just says, "So I told Roy, back into the boat and just say you're going to need a bigger boat." That's right out of Spielberg's mouth. Like he just said that, and I'm like,
so it wasn't script according to Spielberg.
Is that
wasn't
real?
scripted.
Yeah. So again, it's who's telling what story from what angle.
Right.
Like, it's so weird. It's such a weird.
And
it was a great line. It was
50 years
perfectly
ago,
done.
too.
Yeah. Well, and if you watch that documentary and a lot of them, you realize that this movie was almost improv'd all the way through because nothing was working. They had to keep changing things. They were writing lines every single day, changing the story. The Indianapolis thing is not in the book. It was added into the film specifically for the film because they wanted to give Quint a reason to hate sharks, right?
And to me, that's one of the most important.
It's a great story within the
absolutely.
story.
Yeah. And for me, I had no idea that was a real thing until like a decade later when they started actually making Indianapolis movies. And I was like, this is a real thing? Oh, so that makes that moment even better for what it is. So yeah, the whole movie is cobbled together from, well, what can we do today? And let's film that. And then, just the constant sort of, there was no pure script. It was always like, well, let's write this scene and we'll write this scene and these guys could say that and whatever. So it's that to me makes it an even more impressive final version because they just were so forced to start and stop and start and stop and start and stop. And they ran 100 days over budget or 100 days over schedule, millions of dollars over budget. And you still ended up with, to me, the greatest movie that's ever been put on film. So,
Ooh, threw down the gauntlet there, everybody. Did you hear that? Greatest
I don't know if I
ever
go
put
that
on film.
far, but
Yes.
it is.
Yes.
It is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, what would you put like in your other top 5? Just to give me context for how important that is.
I have a top
Jaws.
200 list somewhere on my computer.
Empire Strikes
Empire Strikes Back is in the top 5. Yes, that's 100%.
Oh my God.
It might have been number 2.
Steven's
Oh,
still the
man.
greatest Star Wars movie ever.
I'd have to go look at my list, but like, well, see, there's a lot of movies that I liked that and this is Spielberg and Lucas again, like Raiders of the Lost Ark. Like I love Raiders of the Lost Ark. Right?
Oh yeah.
Except that they fooled me on that too, because I went into that thinking like, oh, Tanis and the Staff of Ra and all this stuff is like this real biblical stuff. That's all horse crap. All of it's horse crap. The only thing that is, quote unquote real is the Ark of the Covenant, and everything else around it, they just made up. So I'm thinking like, I'm learning something too. This is fantastic. And then like, no, that's all made up. So that kind of threw me off. And then of course the Big Bang Theory show where you realize that Indy does nothing in the entire film.
Oh, we might have to do an episode on Raiders.
Oh, we should come back and do that. Yeah.
I hate that episode. I absolutely hate that episode.
But yeah, no, I think it is. I think it is the best movie that's ever been put on film. And like I said, there are very few movies that if I'm just scrolling and it's there, then I stop, and that's definitely one of them. So yeah,
nice, very nice. So yeah, we talked a little bit about the problems on set. I know Spielberg, from what I understand, was very he was very upset with the mechanical shark.
Mm-hmm.
They had so many problems with.
Well, they built it for fresh water. When they were testing it in fresh water, everything worked. But when they put it in the ocean, the salt eroded everything. And so that's why they had to keep fixing it on the fly.
Wow. Oh, and do you know how the name came about?
Bruce? Yeah.
Yeah, Bruce.
I don't.
Okay. Bruce is the name. Well, Steven Spielberg just thought it would be funny to name the shark after his lawyer. And so they named him. Spielberg started calling it Bruce, and then everybody else just sort of went with it, and it became Bruce. Yeah.
That's awesome.
I do like
awesome.
Like Spielberg's sense of humor there. That's great.
And then the second movie, because it was largely assumed, I guess, for some reason that the second shark was a girl, even though I don't think they ever said that. They just called the second shark Brucette in the second film. So. And then the third and fourth movies, they have names too. I can't think of what the names were for the other ones, but I know
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But Spielberg didn't have anything to do with 2, 3, or Revenge.
Spielberg had some aspect of producer credit on the second one, but he wasn't directing. He wasn't really like heavy involved with it. But yeah, his name does appear in the credits. Yeah. Okay. And John Williams did the score for the second one.
Yeah, I did. I looked that up too. I was curious because I didn't remember if John did anything beyond the first one. I think he only did the first two, though.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I don't think he did 3D, and I don't think he did Revenge.
No.
But we watched Jaws 2 last night, and like I said, it's been longer since I watched Jaws 2 than it was since I watched Jaws, and it's been a real long time since I watched 3D or 3 because they don't call it 3D anymore. And then I've never seen The Revenge whatsoever. So I don't even know what that one's like. But
you gotta see it and wrap it up, man. You gotta wrap it up. Listen, let me tell you, is not a good movie. But
that's what I've heard. That's why I didn't watch it.
But even in that, it is still better than most shark movies that we get from like the Sci-Fi Channel and all that kind of stuff. It's still, at least, it's the Brodies, it's right. Amity, it's nonsense. It's absolute nonsense, all of it. But and again, like we talked about the differences in the book. So in the book, so the general gist of Jaws: The Revenge is we're back on Amity Island. Sean is now a police officer, whatever. He has to go out and fix something out in the bay, and the shark attacks him and kills Sean. Okay, spoiler alert. That's how it kind of all starts. So then Mike comes back from the Bahamas where he's doing research, comes back for the funeral, sees his mom, and he's like, hey, you should just come to the Bahamas with us. She goes back to the Bahamas, and the shark follows them to the Bahamas. That's the foundational premise of the book or of the movie.
God, that's now, horrible.
In the original script and in the book, there's a reason the shark went to the Bahamas. And do we want to know?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. He's going on vacation.
So in the original script and in the book, there is a voodoo priest who puts a curse on the Brodies, and the shark
God.
is part of the voodoo curse that comes, and the shark attacks them in the Bahamas, and that's the gist of it. But that's all erased in the film. None of the voodoo stuff exists in the film except for one line. And this is the nod to the original script. So there's a shot where Mike and his mom are talking, and she's like, I want you out of the water. I don't want my family in the water anymore. Get out. And he's like, Mom, sharks don't commit murder. You can't believe that, voodoo. Like that. So that little slip is right in there. And I'm like, I have an appreciation for that line as a writer. That's fantastic. But
I like my idea better that he was going on vacation.
Yeah, just it's not a good movie. Three. I will tell you
You're
this.
not helping your case to get me to watch it. I can tell you
just
that.
to round it out. But just like Jaws to me is the greatest movie ever filmed, Jaws 3 is the greatest so bad it's good movie of all.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Like it's so bad, but it has a great cast. And a lot of the bad part of it is really because of the 3D stuff, because
they were doing all the
super like, no, I'm gonna get you, and then really bad effects because it's 3D. Like everything kind of regressed because of the 3D. But
we should probably stress this is 3D in the 80s, not 3D today. So you had to wear the red and blue glasses.
Yeah, but it was more than that too, because in the 80s, now it's just 3D and it's 3D, right? Everything's got depth and everything's cool. But in the 80s, they were trying to stab you with things.
Right.
Like let me stab you with the thing. Like there's a terrible scene in Friday the 13th Part 3, which was 3D, where dude is like doing a yo-yo from the top of a barn, and they filmed it coming down at you. So you were like, watch out for the yo-yo. Like, this is dumb. This is all dumb. But that's the whole thing that makes it dumb, is that they were like, well, we're 3D, so we need to make 3D moments as opposed to just, film it in 3D. So it was a different use of 3D back in the day.
It was terrible.
And it was just, it's really bad. But Jaws 3 is really a great, so bad it's good movie. So yeah, just treat it as such.
That is the only Jaws movie I ever saw in the theaters, because that one so that came out in what, 82, 83?
Yeah, ish. Yeah.
So I would have been 12 or 13 when that came out. And I do remember going to see it, but I don't remember a whole lot about it. I remember the shark hitting the glass, and the glass starting to shatter. And honestly, I think that's the only thing I can remember from the movie. I looked it up and I saw that Dennis Quaid starred in it, and I had even forgot that he was
Dennis Quaid, Lou Gossett Jr. Yeah. Leah Thompson, one of her early roles, Leah Thompson. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a pretty incredible cast, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, wow. It's a great cast. The first Jaws movie I ever saw on the screen was Revenge. I don't know how I missed 3. I guess maybe I was still, because I would have been watching the Jaws on I missed a lot of stuff. Like somehow I didn't see Godzilla 85 when it came over here. I don't know what I was doing in the mid-80s,
I didn't see Godzilla,
but I was not at the theater very much. So I saw Jaws the Revenge, and Jaws the Revenge has different endings too. So what you saw in the theater versus what was then released on VHS and so on was different endings. Did
George Lucas do it?
I mean, the fixed ending too is like, just makes it worse, because it just means one less person even died. Like, it's just like, oh my God, this is
weird.
Bad. Yeah, it was really bad. And what was funny is I didn't recall it. So I remember seeing the original in the theater, and then every other incarnation for decades afterwards was this new version where this particular character didn't end up dying, and that was the ending. And so I'm just watching this like, yeah, okay, yeah. It was like I was being gaslit into this. Like, yeah, okay, this was what it was. And then all the Jaws things came on Netflix about, I don't know, 6 or 7 years ago. And I was like, oh, okay, let me just watch them all. And I got to Jaws: The Revenge and I watched it, and it had the original ending. And I thought I was losing my mind. I thought I was in the Mandela effect world. I was like, what is this? This is what I remember that everybody told me didn't exist. And it's right here. And then I did my research and I found out that, yeah, they changed the ending for, cause people didn't like that this character died. And so they changed the ending so that, he didn't die. And in fact, they filmed a lot of that stuff. They did film a lot of that on location, but, then there's these scenes of the finale of Jaws: The Revenge, which were just filmed in a big outdoor tank at Universal Studios. But you can see the difference. Like when you're watching the movie, you're like, you can see like, oh, like blue skies in the background. And like, this is clearly the Bahamas. And then it'll like switch and you'll be like, why is everything gray? Like that's the background.
Wow.
It just looks different and strange. So you can kind of see how where and when they
it's not like they had the
stuff.
Valium to film in there.
Yeah, it's rough. It's a rough movie. It's a rough movie. But yeah, no, I Jaws is the best, and Jaws 3 is the best. So bad film.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this: shark movies, non-Jaws shark movies.
Yeah.
What would be your favorite non-Jaws shark movie?
So the list depends on. Do you want to make the list like sort of real shark movies, or are we including things
Whatever you want,
like the Meg and nonsense like that, right?
Yeah.
So for me,
well, it's funny you call the Meg nonsense because I actually like the Meg.
It's it's a fun movie.
To me, the Meg is like Jaws on.
That's what it is. Now that you've watched Jaws, go watch Meg again, and you'll see how much Jaws is in the Meg.
Oh
like,
yeah.
I mean, it's like clearly like, hey, let's just put that Jaws scene in our.
I haven't watched Meg 2 yet. But
that's bad. That's bad. That's bad.
Oh.
That's bad. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Wait, watch Revenge, which is terrible.
Yes,
but don't watch Meg 2.
No,
Okay.
that's bad. So for me, the list is Jaws. Assuming we're going to take Jaws 2 out of the equation. So Jaws. The Shallows is fantastic. The Reef is an Australian movie, which is based on a true story. Fantastic film. 47 Meters Down. All of those land in sort of like the real shark kind of realm of things. Okay. And then it's really hard to find a fifth real shark movie. And so I kind of just end the list at that point. But okay. I would put the next shark movie that I would put on that list that I really like is a thing called Shark Night. You guys ever heard of Shark Night?
No.
Shark Night is, again, it's more nonsense. But it's a great.
Tell me it's a vampire shark.
No.
I was expecting
that's a movie called Nightmare Shark, which is basically basically Nightmare on Elm Street, but Freddy's a shark. That's what that is. Nightmare Shark. One of my favorite shots in all of film is in that movie, and it's so dumb. But basically, it's like when in Nightmare on Elm Street, when Heather's in the bathtub, right, and then the claw comes up out of the bathtub when she's starting to dream. So there's a shot in Nightmare Shark where she's in the bathtub, and it's like a full like sideways, of the bathtub. You can kind of see her head come out, and it's all down here, and it's kind of bubbles. And so here's the thing, and here's her head. Like all of a sudden, in the bathtub, the shark fin just comes up like this in the bathtub. I was like, yo, that's amazing. That's
in which movie is that in?
Nightmare Shark.
Nightmare Shark.
It's such a great dumb moment that I love it. But Shark Night is it's hard to talk about because it's you don't really kind of want to spoil what's going on. But basically, it's kids on like a spring break, and they go to this island chain. I mean, it's just sort of like out. I don't remember if it's like in Florida or something, somewhere where they're in fresh water rivers and stuff, and they go up on this island for like a spring break, and there end up being sharks like in the water, but like different sharks. So it's like a hammerhead shark and like all these other different kinds of sharks. But what we find, I don't know how to talk about this because I don't want to spoil it. It's a good movie. It's a good movie. It's a good dumb movie. But there's a fun little twist. There's a lot of different sharks in it. There's some great shots of the sharks doing stuff, which is really good. Again, I don't want to spoil it because a lot of people don't know this movie exists, so I want them to just get the experience. But I would put Shark Night as like my fifth favorite.
It's on. I think it's on Netflix. I'm looking it up.
Shark Night. Okay.
If it's the same one.
And it was a 3D movie too back in the day.
Yes. Okay, then I'm looking at the right one. Yeah. 2011.
I did find it on
That's when it
IMDb.
came out.
Yeah, and it says Shark Night 3D.
It's a fun movie. It's a fun movie. Yeah.
It looks like a total B movie.
Oh yeah, 100%. 100%. It's got Donald Logue in it. You know, from he was Commissioner Gordon as Batman in the Batman show, the Gotham show.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so, you know, it's
This
got
is
a
the
kid,
one.
it's a kid cast, but they do fine. They do fine.
Nice.
Okay.
So I didn't hear Sharknado on that.
No, you never will. I don't mind Sharknado. Like the first one, it's kind of like, all right, this was kind of fun and clever. But then the franchise just goes right off a cliff.
I've never watched Sharknado.
I've
but
never seen it. I've never watched it.
I kind of want to now.
Just the first one. That's all you need. The rest of them, it just becomes like Hollywood people are just like, oh, can I get in your movie so I can get killed by the shark? Like that just becomes this cameo fest. Versus like, you know, let's try and make something like not that Sharknado is serious, but you know, let's when you watch it, you'll see what I mean. Like they try and make it serious. They try and make it like, oh, this is kind of like a thing that could happen and blah blah blah. But, yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember it being a like you said, a celebrity fest, because I remember each new one that come out, there was some different big celebrity in it. And for the longest time, I was like, why in the heck would they even want to be involved in this movie? This sounds so stupid, but I think you're right. I think it's just so ridiculous that everyone wanted a piece of it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well,
it's on Peacock too, by the way.
Yeah, they all saw
Sharknado.
they all saw the dollar signs and they want to be involved in it. You know, hey, I got killed in Sharknado. You know, whatever.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. All right. I'm looking at the schedule for Shark Week, and so tomorrow's the first day of Shark Week, and the first new episode, because you know all day long they repeat stuff from previous year. First new episode's 8 p.m. I guess that's Central Standard Time. I'm not sure. Dancing with Sharks or not? No, Dancing. Yeah, Dancing with Sharks. I have no idea what the heck that means. Dancing with Sharks.
I assume that is my guess would be that's Ocean, the shark whisperer. They call her the shark whisperer.
Oh, okay. All right.
That would be my guess. There might be something else, but she's been very, very in the news in the last 5 years or so about shark conservation and stuff. And she basically free dives with sharks.
Nice.
Just
Whoa.
out and hangs out with the sharks. She's from Hawaii. So they've gotten a bunch of like shark fishing legislation done, you know, so you can't overfish sharks and stuff like that. And she's been very anti, you know, over in the East, they'll
shark fin soup
and stuff. So they've been trying to get that, you know, sort of outlaw things like that. So her name is literally Ocean. Yeah, she free dives, and there's on Netflix. There's a thing called The Shark Whisperer that's all about her. It's a great documentary.
Oh, I might have to watch that. Then the next is my favorite, Air Jaws.
Yeah,
Air Jaws: The Hunt for Colossus. So that should be good. I love Air Jaws. Watching them preach. Oh my gosh!
And that's one of the crazy things, right? Is like back in the 70s, we didn't understand the breaching part. Like that wasn't an understood thing, but Stephen had him do it. He did the breach and landed on the back of the orca. So, you know, it was kind of one of these things where you have to ask, like, did Stephen do research that we didn't know about and put this breach into it?
There was a scene in Jaws 2 that I said last night. I was like, this would have been an amazing spot for a breach, but they didn't really think about things like that back then.
Mhm.
And but yeah, because I absolutely love air jaws. That's my favorite thing on Shark Week. And then the last thing for tomorrow night is Great White Assassins, which sounds fantastic. Just the title of that just sounds amazing to begin with, because love great whites, and yeah, that'll be freaking awesome.
So wait a minute. So got the breach thing. So that is something sharks do.
Yeah.
Do. I said do.
But they only do it in one certain area, though. It's not like
that we know of.
Right.
We've only seen it in a certain aspect of the shark
Right.
sort of world, and basically all it is that, like, let's just say a seal is up at the top, right?
Right.
The shark will come down deep and just basically go whoosh and just straight up and just nail it, and then it'll come out of the water like a whale, like whoosh, boom, and you do that. So it's a hunting technique is what they're doing. They're not just doing it like whales to like come up and bounce around.
Yeah, it's not like a shark's just out having fun and jumping out of the water.
Right.
Well, it made me wonder in the thing, do sharks really do that? I mean, I accept it. It's like, it's a movie, Steven, no big deal, whatever. It's fun. It's interesting.
They don't
20
jump
years
on
of Shark
boats.
Weeks will tell you that.
Yeah, they don't jump onto boats. You don't have to worry about that, folks.
Right.
Although there have been reports of sharks actually attacking boats of late. Same with like the orcas, like attacking the yachts and stuff. There's the sharks are doing the same thing now.
Well, and sharks do bump boats from time to time.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. But now they're actually like legitimately getting more aggressive about it. I saw one came up and tried to eat some dude's just like Hooper, right? Hooper in the movie talks about this shark ate my boat. So they're literally like coming up and like latching on to like boat motors and bending the props,
propellers.
like yeah.
Wow.
So it's getting weird out there, guys, and that's why I'm inside.
Perfectly timed. That was great.
Yeah, I've always wanted to, even with my fear, I've always wanted to like go shark diving, like cage diving. And when I got married, we went to Hawaii, and it was a thing. Like the people were like, "Hey, we'll take you out. You go in the cage and you see the sharks." And I was like, "Yeah, let's go." My wife was like, "I am not going home with a newspaper that says, newlyweds go to shark cage diving and husband eaten by jaws. Like that's not going to happen." So I didn't get to go. And thankfully, for those that know what 47 meters down is, that's why I'm never going cage diving now, because the gist of that is people are in Hawaii, they go out cage diving, and it's not like this full, like real up to code stuff. And the cage wire snaps and they fall to the bottom of the ocean. So I'm not going cage diving either, guys. I'm not putting my life in anyone else's hands. It's just not going to happen.
Understandable.
Oh my goodness.
Although here's the crazy part is you never know what you're capable of doing in a moment. Because I've had this fear of jaws, fear of sharks, fear of the water, not like, ooh, kill the sharks, but just like the healthy respect of like, that's their house. I wouldn't just walk into somebody else's house and be like, feed me,
that's the way I feel too.
So
yeah.
It's a healthy respect more so than it's a fear, but there is that fear. So when I was in Hawaii as a kid, I was like 15 or 16. We went on this trip, this sailboat trip. And I told my mom, I was like, I get seasick on sailboats. Like, why are we doing this? She's like, no, it's a bigger boat. You won't get seasick, whatever. And I'm like, all right,
we're going to need a bigger boat.
Yeah. I need a much bigger boat. And so as soon as we get out of the cove, and we hit the water, we're doing this. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to be sick in 8 minutes. Like, this is what's going to happen. So the boat runs about an hour from where we went to where we were supposed to anchor. And then you can snorkel, right? And then there's like dinner or whatever. And then you come home. And I told her, I'm like, number one, I'm going to get seasick. Number two, why are we snorkeling in Hawaii? There's sharks here. What are we talking about? And so on and so on. And she was like, nah, you'll be fine. So as we start to come into where we anchor, there's other people that are seasick too. And the captain comes on the little speaker thing. And he's like, so guys, we're about to anchor here. Everybody just hang loose for a second. We're going to have dinner. For those of you that are feeling sick, the good news is that if you get in the water, it will balance your equilibrium and you'll feel a lot better. I was off the boat. At that moment. I felt so bad. I just jumped off. I had no life jacket. I had nothing. I wasn't concerned about the sharks that were clearly there, somewhere. I was just like, get me off this boat. I was off the boat. And then as I turned around, I saw everybody else jumping off too. They were like, we were like the Indianapolis. It was happening right there. Everybody was just getting off the boat. And then when we were there, we kind of all got together like, oh, he was right. Like, this feels a lot better.
Wait a minute. You weren't floating around on a
nothing. We were just treading water.
Well, I was just wondering if you were floating around on a door, like Titanic.
No door. And so we're sitting in the water and we're like, I don't want to get back on the boat because it's an hour back. We're going to get seasick again. And then we're kind of looking around where we were. We could see kind of the island behind us. And I started to look at it and I said, I think that's my hotel, like right there, like 2 miles off. And we're out here. And I looked at the people, they're like, can we just swim back? Like, let's just go swim back. It's right there. And the captain was like, you're not going to want to do that. That's a bad idea. Because sharks are, and then we were like, oh, he just said the S word. And so we went back on the boat and had dinner and went home. But yeah, I didn't even contemplate that I was in the middle of the ocean. And I just was like, just put me in the water.
Wow.
That's how bad I felt. So yeah. You never know.
Very cool.
I don't swim good enough to just jump off in the ocean. So
yeah, I'm a good swimmer. I've swum all my whole life, so that never bothered me. I'd swim in the waves and stuff. But yeah, now with the shark stuff, I when I was watching Ocean do her stuff, I was like, oh my God, it's ridiculous. I mean, it's not even like you're a lot of it is not even like where you're in the ocean, you can like see the ground at all. Like she's just free diving in thousands of feet of water.
It's like the guy who did all the photography for Air Jaws, and he used to go out on those little sleds and everything. And then he decided to make one that looks like a seal, so he can try and capture the shark coming, and he's riding on the seal on the sled to capture the shark coming up to bite the seal. He's freaking insane, but he got some beautiful photography.
Yeah.
just amazing stuff
absolutely.
That we probably never would have seen. Risked his freaking life doing it. I seen him do one where he went out on a whale carcass so he can photograph sharks just on a feeding frenzy on this whale carcass, and he's standing on the whale carcass. That's nuts. That's freaking nuts. Great television, but insane.
Oh yeah. And there's real footage of sharks in Jaws too. It's intercut, but there is real footage of stuff, and the part where it's attacking the cage, that really happened. And they what's funny is it was staged, but it did really happen. What they did is they needed real footage of the shark next to the cage, but since there is no such thing really that we know of, that there's a 25-foot killer whale, great white, they made a cage that was smaller to put in the water, so that when the 18-foot shark came by, it looked bigger next to the smaller size cage.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But when you see the shark kind of get stuck, and it's
on top of it and
flopping around and everything, that's real. That really happened. And they just used that as part of Hooper's, little moment there. So that stuff's real. Yeah.
It's got black eyes like a doll's eyes.
You want to see something just bizarre that will just blow up your Quint thought process? And I've never heard this before in my life until I watched the Jaws at 50. There's behind the scenes interviews with Robert Shaw where he's just like, between takes or whatever, doing and talking. That's what that dude sounds like. Like the Quint voice he's making that voice. That's not his
Really?
real. Yeah, that's not his real
Oh.
voice.
Oh, really?
So when he's just talking he's like some Irish guy, talking with a high pitched, voice. I'm like, my mind is blown right now. Like, what is going on? How is that becoming Quint that we understand with that voice and that tone and like, holy cow. Now you understand why this guy is like a great actor. Like, holy smokes. I was never prepared for it. I've never heard Robert Shaw outside of Jaws. So it was not something I was ready for.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen him. Not that I remember in any other movies either. I'm sure he's been in something, but
he was in a bunch of things, and he's a writer. He filmed. He wrote a bunch of plays and stuff. So yeah, he was in a bunch of stuff, but he died not long after Jaws. He wasn't around for.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that. Okay. Yeah, he was a great actor. He's one of the highlights of the film.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
Well, the whole Indianapolis story was incredible. The way he told it, and the way they did that, I just thought was great.
Well, and so there's a weird thing with that too is he wanted to be. He told Peter. He told Steven, like, listen, I'm going to do this, but two things happened. One, the thing was written for him, and it was a really, really long monologue. And Robert was like, look, I can't. No one's going to want to sit and listen to me just rattle this off for like 8 minutes. So let me take this back and sort of rewrite it for Quint. So it's more, it flows better. And Steve was like, yeah, do it. Go make it how you want to make it. Again, back to improv. Right. But then when they were going to shoot, Quint wanted to be drunk. Robert Shaw. He was like, I'm going to take some shots so that when we do this, I'm feeling it. So I'm not acting drunk. I'm not whatever. Like, I'm going to get a little tipsy. And Steven was like, yeah, go right ahead. And then in that interview with him, Steven says, yeah, I told him go right ahead. And I said, I would never do that again. But Steven was like, I'll never do that again. And so he didn't do it very well. And the story goes is that night, Robert Shaw called Steven and was like, I'm so sorry, that didn't go well. Please let me do it again tomorrow. And they did it again tomorrow. He wasn't drunk for the monologue, and that's what we got that was on the screen. So
gotcha.
That's sort of the little behind the scenes on that.
Well, that's one of the highlights of the movie, I think.
For sure.
Story, and it just sets the tone for the shark, and it sets that, it solidifies that fear, that he has for a shark. It solidifies the fear and also the hate that he has, because
100%.
He hates sharks. That's all he wants to do. He wants to kill sharks, and you feel it, you get it when he tells that story.
Yeah.
So that
was the whole thing. That's why they put that in there. They were like, let's give him a reason to
it's great.
Want this to have happening. Now, here's the thing that I found a couple of years ago, that when I first heard about it, I was like, that's horseshit. There's no way that's real. So, again, it's an Indianapolis callback, right? So during the speech, Quint says, blah, 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 missiles, torpedoes, vessel went down in 12 minutes, right? All of that.
Right.
So as you're coming to the end of Jaws, there's a point where he's got all 3 barrels in him and he's running around, whatever. And there's a shot of the boat kind of from up above. Your shot of the boat, and then the barrels are kind of coming like this to the side of the boat. So, and then the barrels go underneath, right? If you start a stopwatch once they go underneath the water, 12 minutes later, Quint is dragged into the water and is dead. And the boat is sinking. Just like the Indianapolis 12 minutes.
Oh, wow.
I said, no chance that that's real. And I went and timed it, and it's real. Now, I have never heard anything of Steven Spielberg saying, yes, we did that on purpose. Yes, we edited it to do it that way. It could be a complete coincidence, but it is there, and it's a real thing.
Wow.
What?
The
amazing little just things throughout the whole film that just blow your mind when you start to think about, because Verna Edwards, I think is her name. She won an Oscar for the editing of that film. So, it's put together to perfection, and it won an award.
The usage of the barrels, I think, was amazing. because it was a great way to show the shark without having to show the shark.
Yeah.
And you got to see the speed of the shark and the veracity of the shark and
The
all
power,
Yeah.
I mean, there's three,
Yeah.
there's three down below, that never happens.
That was something that Spielberg was pretty genius of doing. And I don't know if that was in the book or not, or that was his idea.
No. That was made because they had no shark, and they had to figure out like, okay, well, we have no shark, but we need the shark. So that's
Yeah.
And back to the beginning, that's the other flaw in the film is the barrels. There's poor barrel math throughout the film. Because if you watch, he starts with 5 barrels on the deck, and if you start to do the math as he shoots them off, and they're going through the story, the barrel math starts to get wonky. You'll be like, oh, he's shot off 2 of them, so there should be 3 on there, but I only see 2, and he shot off 3, so there should only be 2 here, but now there's 3. Like there were just moments where they didn't match the story perfectly, and I used to think I was crazy when I was seeing that, and then I watched the movie again, and I was like, nope, this is clearly happening. And then other people would talk about like, yeah, it's a perfect movie except for the barrel math. So yeah, that's the other sort of weird little, again, very, very tiny little imperfection. But yeah, it's in there.
Nice. Very nice. Okay.
Yeah. That's interesting. I'm sitting there pondering the whole barrels and stuff in my head now. And I'm reliving the movie in my head right now going, I just thought it was cool how they popped out of their row, and there they go, and then they line back up. There's your next one right there. So
Yeah.
I know that's a little nerdy, but
Yeah. That boat too. They actually took that boat and put it on the back lot of Universal Studios. So the actual Orca was at the Jaws ride or part of the tour for a long time. And unfortunately, it just rotted away. Like they didn't take care of it. It just sat back there. And
they do that with a lot of product.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah. It's
and
weird.
To me, it's a shame. It's a shame that they don't.
It is, but I back in the day, it's the same thing with like the old Godzilla costumes from back in the day, the old Showa stuff from like the 60s and the 70s. Those suits are gone. Like they didn't preserve them. They didn't do anything to make sure that they could hang around. But again, back in the day, that stuff was like, well, we made our movie, like sell this stuff off. Like, what, we don't need this crap laying around anymore. One of the biggest disappointments that I found out was in Gone with the Wind, there's the big fire scene at the end. Part of what's in that fire is King Kong's wall. They burned it down as part of that film.
Oh my gosh.
The original King Kong wall. So it was like, oh man.
I still remember in the first Jurassic Park film when they're entering the park and oh gosh, what's his name? Well, when he looks up and says, what are they keeping in there? King Kong? I love that. Yeah, it's terrible that they didn't preserve a lot of this stuff, and you find some of this stuff rotting, and it's like, wow, some fan would have really, liked to have that, or, somebody could be putting together a museum of all this stuff. And,
well, yeah, one of the sharks for decades was at the top of a junkyard sign. And it was stuck at the top of a junkyard sign, and it was just sitting there forever and ever and ever. And the junkyard was closing, and they had the shark, and they donated it. Somebody took it, refurbished it, whatever they call, and so now that shark is in the motion picture, film, and whatever museum. So it's now hanging, as it should be, in the Museum of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences, something like that. It's actually in that place. So somebody took it, but there are pictures of it just sitting up on top of like these 2 big poles, forever, just sitting in the sun and rotting away. And these guys got a hold of it, refinished it, and took it to the museum. So, you know, at least he survived in that capacity.
Dang. Wow.
Wasn't he part of a ride or something for a long time?
Well, there's a Jaws ride, a legitimate ride. There was in Florida. And it was kind of
there's as many problems with the Jaws ride as there
Yeah.
was with the movie.
which is why it doesn't exist anymore.
Right.
But it was based basically on Jaws 2, more or less. Because at the end, you kill him with the electric wire in his mouth. It was really fun. I got to do it before they closed it down. It's basically like a Jungle Cruise ride.
Okay.
But you're in Amity and it's Jaws, and there's a guy. He's like, "Oh, look out for the shark," and you know, that kind of stuff. So it was really fun. We did it, and I got out, and I was like, "We're doing that again," and we just did it again the second time. And then a handful of years later, they dug it all out and put Harry Potter on top of it. So
Mhm.
one more reason for me to hate Harry Potter.
Well, yeah, but you can look up some documentaries on that ride. There were some bad things that happened with that ride.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
It's crazy how many coincidences there are between the ride and the film.
The film, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Jeez. Wow.
Yeah. But there is still one. If you go to Japan, Jaws is still a ride in Japan.
I think I had heard that too. Yeah. They still have.
Hollywood also still has the backlot tours, and there's a Jaws section in that.
Yeah. If you go on the Universal tour, it's still part of the thing. Although it used to be you'd go in and you'd stop, and then when the shark would pop up, the dock would tilt, and you'd be like, "Oh!" and then the shark would come. But they don't do the tilt anymore. They got rid of the tilt because there's a part of it where Jaws takes the dock out, and then it tilts because the dock, you know, oh no, we're not stable anymore, we're tilting, and then the shark pops out. So, but they don't do that anymore.
Yeah, the biggest thing I remember the backlot tour is the water breaking coming at you, and that's pretty neat. Yeah, the flood. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, flood. Yeah, they used to do. They don't do a lot of stuff on the tour anymore. It's really changed. Like there used to be a broken bridge. You go across the broken bridge and it would drop out from underneath you. They don't do that anymore. Yeah, I haven't been there in a long time, but the last time I was there, I was kind of bummed. I did get to see the King Kong before it burned down when it was giant animatronic thing, not the screens that it is now. So that was super cool to get to see that. I was always, I don't have it here. I know I still have it. I don't know where it is. I have a program for Universal Studios that has Jaws on the cover of it, of course. In the program, this would have been the 70s at some point, I guess, late 70s, early 80s. Inside the program, there was a shot of the tram going down by a hill, and coming down the hill were like big boulders, right? Again, just one of these like movie magic things. But when I did the tour, that was gone. I was like, wait a minute, what? We didn't get the rocks. Like, where's the avalanche? I want to see the avalanche. And they had just removed it. At that point, it had been removed from the tour. And so for years and years and years, and I defy anybody to find any of this. I've been trying to find footage. I figured somebody has to have footage of this somewhere online in the infinite depths of the internet. Somebody has to have footage of this stupid thing so I could see how this worked. And it doesn't exist. There are still like 5 pictures, and that's all there are of any of that thing. I've never found video of it. It's just the same 5 pictures over and over and over again.
Huh.
And then as I was doing that, it was rabbit hole time, because the Universal Studio tour is way more crazy than I ever imagined, including there was a time you'd go through like a jungle area, and there'd be a big gorilla that would swing out over at the tram on a vine. They would launch it out, and initially it came out and he had like a human hand in his mouth, and then it would swing back, right? And then that would freak people out. So later they took the hand away and it was still the gorilla coming out, but it wasn't like eating anybody anymore. So there was that. Like, there's so much that I'm like, oh my God. And there's no footage of it. There's none that I can find. I spent so much time trying to find, they must have had tests or something, but this would have been, late 60s, early 70s, whenever the tour
Right,
started.
way before the internet. So
They just, again, it goes back to, we just don't care. Like we're doing it for now. Once we don't need it anymore, we just say goodbye and that's it. So, it's only really recently that we've understood film history, film value to pop culture and so on, that this stuff now gets saved, at least more often than not. And now you have actors that are, they get asked all the time, "Oh, you were on, this Marvel movie. Did you take anything home?" He's like, "Yeah,
Right.
I've got the cube, man," like whatever. So, people understand that stuff now, but, restoration of old things and trying to find this old stuff, I mean, a lot of it's just going to be gone if it hasn't been restored by now.
Well, it's like I've watched stuff on Knight Rider where, this guy, he's restoring one of the original kit cars and stuff. And, he found one of the original screen used cars and everything. And he's like, yeah, it was just sitting in a lot somewhere, just wasting away.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, and I rescued it and rebuilt it to the best he can, because first of all, there's several different versions of that car for different purposes. And you had a ride car, you had a hero car, and, that kind of stuff. So, but yeah, it's disheartening when you hear that one of your favorite movie props or television props is just sitting here wasting away. So I'm glad there's people out there who are restoring this stuff and
Heck, even rides. Do you know how many Disney animatronics are just in a building rotting away?
Oh yeah.
Like the Stitch experience that used to be an Alien experience. That is just sitting in a building rotting away. And if anyone tries to take it, Disney will fight on it. But they're not doing anything with it. They're just letting it. They're just letting it rot. And there's so many parks that have animatronics that are just wasting away. It's the same thing.
My wife loves your King Kong poster. That is an awesome poster, by the way. It's too bad. I heard stories. Steve Sansweet, he's the largest Star Wars collector in the world. In fact, he has the world's record for it because he's got a warehouse somewhere in California that you can tour and see all this cool Star Wars memorabilia and stuff. And he used to work for Lucasfilms, like archiving or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And he tells a story that he found the original Death Star model in a dumpster, like behind a disco or something. Some disco place had gotten a hold of the Death Star and they had used it for so long. And then they decided, nah, we don't want it anymore, and threw it away. And Steve Sansweet found it and he's retrieved it and it's now in his collection. So we could have completely lost the Star Wars Death Star. And, today, after the first film, George Lucas saved everything. He didn't throw anything away after that first film became so popular, and which that's great because, that stuff is stored somewhere and, being held on to. But yeah, there's a lot of movies out there that just wasn't. So cool.
Yeah, the only thing that remains from a prop perspective of the original Godzilla movie from '53 is the original oxygen destroyer. That's the only thing that they have, and everything else is gone. So crazy.
Yeah. Whew. This is a good discussion, man. We hit all kinds of things today.
Sure did.
I just looked at the time about 10 minutes ago going, holy moly. We're an hour and a half. This is great.
Yeah, no kidding. Wow.
Good thing I deleted space in our library to make sure we could get all this. Oh gosh. Oh my goodness. Well, we got to wrap up things, everybody. But Tom, it's so great to have you on the show again. Thanks so much for joining us.
I appreciate it. Yeah, it's always fun, guys.
Yeah, always, always. I learned some new things. As we said at the beginning, everybody, we got learned stuff from Tom.
Well, I think we might have to plan a Raiders of the Lost Ark one now.
Ooh, yes, yes. I love Raiders of the Lost Ark. I even had the comic book to Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Mhm.
And loved it.
I had the comic, but yeah.
Yep. Well, hey, everybody. If you made it this far, thanks so much for joining us and hanging out with us. It's been a great time and just talking about all kinds of stuff, Jaws related. So anyway, we just thank you for hanging out with us and want to say, hey, if you would please, first off, we want to give a big shout out to Tom and joining us. His website, if you want to go there, is bigdogink.com, BIGDOGINK.com. If you want to help support him and what he's doing, please check out, you can go to Kickstarter and see his past projects that he's done, but also you can help support him on Patreon, which is patreon.com/bigdogink as well. Again, thanks so much, Tom, for being with us. It's been great to have you. With us here on Two Geeks, please check out our website. This is our hub. You can get to everything else from there at our website at www.twogeeksmic.com. That's the number 2, GEEKSMIC.com. Every time I say MIC, I kind of want to go KEY. I don't MOUSE. All right.
Me both.
If you want to go directly to our merch page, we got some fun little t-shirts here and there, but twogeeksmicmerch.com, the number 2, GEEKSMICMERCH.com. Or if you want to just contact us saying, hey, I've got a great idea for a show that you're curious about or just want to ask us something, you can go to our website, show@twogeeksmic.com. And also you can help support us on our Ko-fi page, which is ko-fi.com/2geeks. I think I got it all in there.
Okay. All right. So with that all said, first of all, I just want to thank Tom again for being on. And I also want to give a shout out to his website and the fact that he has his own shark comic books. So if you want to check that out, go to bigdogink.com and check out From the Water. Looks like you have 2 issues of
we have one issue. There's two covers for it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And so that, what that is the preview for the book that we're going to be doing next year. We were going to do it this year, to tie it into the Jaws 50th, but, my mom passed in the spring. And so we just kind of shut everything down, and it's going to be a really big book. Instead of releasing it like single issues, we're going to release the whole thing. It's going to be like 100 pages in one big book at one time. So that's why we kind of had to shut it all down and push it off. So next year, around this time, June next year, we will have the Kickstarter for the full-sized book. But if you want to get a taste of what the book is and how it's going to look and, and feel, we have those previews available.
So go check that out. In the meantime, if you made it this far, please make sure and go check us out on Facebook. I try to post any kind of funny memes or information about upcoming episodes and when we go live. Speaking of going live, we go live every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. You do the math on the rest. And you can also catch us on YouTube, Twitch, and Rumble. Unfortunately, we are not live this morning because I forgot to create the link this morning. So.
Oh, I thought I messed it up when I
No, that was all me. I forgot to set it up this morning. I, was excited about starting this episode. So that's on me. I will get the episode downloaded and uploaded to Rumble later today. So if you normally watch us over there, you'll see us later today. All right. With that said, please do not Steven skip this episode because we are much more better than the rest. Cheers. Thank you for joining us today on the Two Geeks and a Microphone podcast. Tune in next week when we will have more news and reviews. Until then,
may the force be with you.
You know the thing about a shark, he's got lifeless eyes, black eyes like a doll's eyes. When he comes at you, doesn't seem to be living until he bites you, and those black eyes roll over white, and then you hear that terrible high-pitched screaming. The ocean turns red. Despite all the pounding and the hollering, they all come in, they rip you to pieces.